What it do, Internet? David Baugh here, and today we are getting into the pieces of equipment that you will actually use for vlogging. Let's get into it.
Oh, as long as it looks good for the internet.
Now, there is a million options out there for you. There are a lot of videos just like this that are going to tell you, like, oh, you should get this equipment and this equipment and that equipment. And, you know, I've been vlogging now for, I guess we're on 322 days. And there's certain gear that I actually use, and then there's certain gear that I bought thinking, oh my god, I need this to be able to do this content, and I never use it, right? So I've decided to put together a list of things that you will actually use while vlogging. The first one is the obvious one, that's going to be a camera. Now, your camera is probably less important than your audio gear. People will get over a bad video. They don't tend to get over bad audio. They'll tend to switch it off right away, right? But a camera that's really good for the option is going to be like a Canon M50, or I use a Canon 77D. It was, I believe they're even the same chipset. It was just a few more features that I wanted. I do a lot of my audio recording offbound, so I didn't need to go all the way up to like an 80D or things like that. I would like a Canon EOS R, but you know, we can all dream, right? The next really crucial thing that I use every single day is going to be lighting gear. You can see I have a blue light behind me there. I've got a softbox that's hitting me from this side. This isn't as set up as I had it in my previous set. There I use a lot more lights. I'm probably going to build this one out a little bit more now that we're sort of stationary here, but lighting gear is invaluable. You can have a really awful camera, but if you light it well, it could still potentially capture a pretty good image, so it's absolutely worth the investment. Next, you need to be getting audio of some sort. The more money you spend on audio, the more happy you're going to be with your overall image. You know, it looks better when it sounds good, and it sounds weird for me to say that. I use sorry for this, but I use a Rode NTG4 Plus here. I also use multiple streams of audio coming in all the time just because I want to make sure that it's actually happening. I also have this Rode video mic here that's pretty fun. That's for when I just am grabbing and going. I do use it quite frequently. It is pretty good, especially at this distance. You know, you don't need as great a microphone at this distance, just because it's gonna have good placement. Good placement is always better than, you know, high quality. If you have a high quality microphone and you put it really far away from the audio source, it's still gonna sound like crap. You need a computer to edit on. You can either do a laptop or you can do something else. I use a Mac because I like Final Cut Pro. Another thing you're definitely going to need is going to be an NLE, or a non-linear editing system. I use Final Cut Pro. You can also use Adobe Premiere. There's free options like Sony Vegas, there's HitFilms, there's iMovie, I think will get you there depending on what it is you're putting together. You want to find the right NLE for you. You want to find one that has all of the features built in that you are capable of using, so that you have something to grow. I tend to recommend Final Cut just because I really prefer it. There's nothing wrong with Adobe Premiere. It's a wonderful application. They all do the same things. I just prefer the way that Final Cut Pro does it, but you can make your own decisions. I also really recommend getting a flexible tripod. And those things have saved me in a whole lot of instances, far more than you might imagine. You know, it's wonderful for being able to just put something somewhere, get it roughly the right height, wrap it around a pole or something. Super useful. At this setup, I have a little bit more stationary. I use a switch pod for this camera here. Honestly, I like it just because it works for what I'm doing, but I would actually absolutely switch back to a flexible tripod if I was moving around more. I got this one just as a way to vlog a little easier. And I do find myself thinking back to the way I had it. I think that those are definitely a wonderful thing. One thing that I have noticed about gear as far as vlogging goes is that I often am thinking about ways to simplify my setup instead of adding more to it, right? You see a lot of people on the internet that are telling you like, oh, you can make a video with your phone and you can do stuff like that, and I have certain standards for my quality here, but at the same time, more doesn't necessarily equate to better. If you're getting much better equipment and you don't know how to use that equipment, then it's going to look worse, right? And for something like this where it's just a Talking Heads vlog, you know, easy enough to get taken care of. But those are my recommendations for what you should actually buy for your vlogging. But that's all I had for you guys today. It was a pleasure as always, and you have a wonderful evening.